Turn to Bill Richardson now, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, successfully negotiated the release of an American prisoner in North Korea back in '96. Not easy, is it, sir?
No, it's not easy, but this is typical of the North Koreans. They drum up a lot of interest. I suspect they will release the three, but then they use them as bargaining chips. In the past, you know, you send a big former president, President Carter, Clinton, in exchange for the prisoners. In this case, what they're getting in return is a summit with the President of the United States, something that they've always wanted.
And the president says the one reason for that summit is to do away with their nuclear program, to end their nuclearization and get rid of their opportunities in the future. Are there signs that North Korea might actually be someday willing to do that?
Well, I think it's going to be a very interesting summit. We have a different definition from the North Koreans on what denuclearization is. For the president, for us, it's they're going to dismantle all their weapons. For the North Koreans, it's a freeze. We're going to stop development of missile, nuclear. So that has to be narrowed down in the summit. But I think the release of this prisoners, you know, you set a good tone releasing these on humanitarian reasons. But, you know, the North Koreans, these were trumped up charges. You just mentioned them. These were Americans teaching there, doing business, hostile acts. You know, the North Koreans always do that. I think one of the things the president has to do is say to the North Koreans, stop detaining Americans, stop detaining people that come in and leave them alone and stop using them as bargaining chips. I think that's another accomplishment that might make the summit a success.
The president has talked about possibly holding this summit around in the Peace House around the denuclearized zone there between North and South Korea. He said, you know, it would be great to have a celebration of things there. But in reality, wouldn't there be a lot of negotiating after the summit?
Yes, and I think one of the things, Shep, with the North Koreans is you negotiate not across the table. That's not when they make concessions. They do it in informal gatherings, in either dining or walking together and making deals. I think what's very important is that the two presidents develop some kind of a personal relationship. And I worry that at the Peace House, I mean, I've been there many times, the facility is not conducive to meeting outside of just the formal table. So, you know, I saw that Singapore is a possibility. Kim Jong-un doesn't like to travel by airplane. He likes to travel by rail. So maybe a Russian island. I don't know what they're going to decide. But I think what's important is a section of the summit for informal settings. That's when you negotiate deals with the North Koreans. That's when I got some prisoners out. You don't do it in the formal meeting.